Welcome to Monaco, a race that you really wanted to see for some reason. Just gonna go straight ahead to Q2. We're qualifying on the mediums once again. I hadn't actually practiced qualifying on the mediums, and as you can see the cars are sliding all over the track. We're about half a second up on our previous lap, but going through the swimming pool we lose a rear massively, and that loses us about 2 or 3 tenths. I wanted to go for another run at the end of the session, but I just missed out by about 3 seconds. That means we were actually only able to qualify 5th. That's not too bad though, since we should have the inside line for turn 1. We've got 95 litres of fuel on board, that's enough for mix 5 the whole race, so we don't have to worry about fuel at all. Here we are then lining up on the grid, and it's lights out and away we go for the Monaco Grand Prix. I almost get alongside Alfie before he moves over and I have to back out. That gives Brandon a clear run around the outside of turn 1, and here we go side by side up the hill. It's a very tight and twisty section, so I back out again, giving Mac enough room to overtake me as we enter Massenet. Almost immediately we've dropped down to 7th, but I'd rather that than suffer damage for the rest of the race. We're gapping Evan by about a second a lap, but we're keeping in touch with Mac, who's on softs. We're both getting screen freezes, but Mac seemed to be much more severe as we're closing the gap all the time.
Mac, would you say Max is faster than you or not?
Well, yeah, he's faster than me because I get a screen fucking freeze every time I kick in. I can't drive this. This is terrible.
By lap 9, Brandon's pulled away from his teammate, and since Evan is now over 10 seconds behind, me and Mac are pretty much alone together. Alone together? Who wrote the script? As Mac approaches the end of his stint, I do feel like I'm being held up a bit, but honestly it's so much more fun actually being able to race with someone. At the end of lap 11, Mac comes in for his first stop. Brandon's managed to build a 7-second gap, but in clear air I'm going about half a second quicker. The front left is starting to suffer as we approach the end of lap 15, so I decide to come into the pits. This also means I don't have to deal with the bike marker just ahead, and Sam who's behind on fresh tyres. We emerge back into P7, however Scott, who's had to fix damage in his stop, is now 4 seconds behind. In the end he had to retire because unfortunately the damage doesn't really get repaired properly. Less than a lap later we're right on the back of Evan, who's pretty much just let us pass thankfully. He hasn't pitted yet so his tyres are shredded at this point. Now we have to catch back up to Mac and see what we can do from there. Towards the end of lap 19 there's a slow car at swimming pool. Mac has to slow down, but by the time I get there the car is pretty much out of the way. That allows us to close the gap just that bit more to Mac ahead, however all the time I gain in the slow speed section is lost when I have to back off just before to bike because of dirty air.
Max's highlights video is just going to be him seeing my butt cheeks the entire race.
I mean, he's not wrong. At this point, it's a very similar situation as it was in the first stint. In fact, the closest car ahead is a bike marker, and the car behind is over 12 seconds clear. It's so much more fun actually being able to race with someone. It's just a shame it's at Monaco, where it looks like I'm just waiting behind the whole time. It all comes to an end in lap 27 though, when Mac pits, and now I'm 18 seconds behind Alfie. We carry on for another 6 laps until I begin to approach traffic. They're battling each other, so I don't want to risk getting held up by them. So even though the tyres are decent for another few laps, I pit onto another set of mediums for the end of the race. Sam is ahead by about 8 seconds as we come out of the pits, but he's on worn hard tyres. We're also in 4th again, did I mention that? If we finish in this position, that would make it the 4th place finish in a row for the team. And since it looks pretty certain that Alfie is finishing 2nd, that would move Team Tepper just 1 point ahead of us in the Constructors' Championship. So if we want to stay ahead in the Constructors' Championship, we're going to have to get 3rd, and the only way to do that is getting past Sam. You know, only the hardest track to overtake at. Unlike the last 2 races, I actually have something to fight for, and on our first flying lap we go as near as makes no difference, a second faster on our previous best. With 9 laps to go, Sam is well within view, just over 2 seconds ahead, and only a lap later we're within a second, giving us DRS. Since Sam's paying tribute to Niki with a replica helmet design, I suppose that makes me James Hunt in this scenario. Sure, why not? I'm sure that's not blasphemous at all. Sam's been on these hard tyres since lap 28, and he's got heavy damage, but there's just nothing I can do with my extra pace since we're at Monaco. I just have to hope he either makes a huge mistake or decides to pit again. I'm so close all the time, but I just can't get a run on the straights. My tyre advantage is also beginning to drop off.
I've somehow flipped it again. It's got even worse. Oh my god,
Stop.
I'm closer than ever before as we go through swimming pool, but
Listen, what? Just go easy out there.
What are you saying?
I'm saying look after yourself. We want you back in one piece. You're too far back. There's alls next year.
So that's it? It's over?
There.
Fuck it!
couldn't make the pass happen, and with that I relinquished our position to Team Tepper in the Constructors. However, since Alfie got disqualified for an SRT issue, I get classified in 3rd, and that means North South remain 2nd in the Constructors.
Let's get you out of there, buddy.
I'm sorry, Teddy. I'm sorry. I thought I could make
Sorry,
up
what
the
are you
ground.
talking about? You did it!
Did what?
You crazy bastard! You came 3rd! You got the points!